Welcome back to Grassroots Radio Colorado. You're listening to Andy and Corey Pate from the Party of Choice. And for the last time, we are filling in tonight for Chris Cook. Chris will be back tomorrow, and she's waiting and ready, raring to go. She's got a lot to say on this, too, by the way. We're talking about 2016. Who do we want to run for us? Who do we not want to run for us? I've been hearing a lot of people say they don't want Jeb Bush. Have you ever seen Corey, how does somebody get so much money when there is zero groundswell? I mean, and here's the thing. It's not just in the Tea Party. Do you see any groundswell in the establishment?
Not really.
No.
I don't, but I guess he's got good connections.
You know what? Haley Barbour said a few days ago, money won't win the primary.
No, it won't.
No. And what I'm seeing is absolutely no groundswell for the guy. And folks, for those who like Jeb Bush, please don't get the idea. I don't hate the guy. I like him. And by the way, I could very easily reel off some very conservative stances he has that separate him from somebody like Hillary Clinton. Oh, yeah. He's way better than that. He
is, but the problem is that he hasn't won the hearts and minds of the base.
No.
And as a candidate, you have to do that. And the thing that I'm seeing that people really want, they want to be inspired. They love this country. They want to see a candidate who can express their love of the country and then be able to sell that candidate to other people.
Okay. Well, if you're going to say that, that brings us to Marco Rubio.
Okay. Marco
Rubio. Folks, so many people on the right viscerally.
Oh, yeah.
Hate this guy because, and by the way, I'm not too down on them for that. And here's why. They hate this guy so viscerally because of his immigration policy that he tried to put out. And it was very naive in the way that it gave way too much power to Obama to misuse it. But I kind of understand. We have to keep in mind, if we allow amnesty, we're not going to have a party anymore.
No, we're not.
The numbers are what they are. You're going to get overrun. So, and by the way, you're also, forget about the politics, you're rewarding illegality. And somebody has to take a stronger stance. That's why when I listen to somebody who's a hardliner on it, like Ben Carson, it's very inspiring.
Well, and I was just totally lost my train of thought, actually. Sorry.
Once again, looking at her husband,
starry-eyed. What can I say?
It's just too much for her to be able to handle. But here is what Marco Rubio has. Folks, we need a charismatic speaker. We need somebody who can sell the real kind of hope to Americans. Marco Rubio does it. Mm-hmm. Okay. You always have these guys, they come out and they do their speech, this is only in America could my story happen. Only in America could my story happen. Those speeches get pretty old. Not when he does it.
No, it's fresh. It's new. It's like you've never heard one of those stories before.
Oh, I know. And it's like listening to Ted Cruz's dad. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He's an amazing speaker too.
I love listening to Ted Cruz. I like his dad more. And no offense to Ted, but his dad is incredible. And we have to look at people like Marco Rubio, like Rand Paul, like Ben Carson, like Paul Ryan. Even when they disagree with us on some things, we got to win. We have not moved the needle enough to elect. I have not moved the needle of public opinion enough to elect somebody who just believes everything I do.
Yeah, well, and I think
doesn't mean I want to compromise.
Well, and here's a thought for you. If we're changing hearts and minds and getting people to understand what true conservatism is, and there's a groundswell of support for those ideals, don't you think that maybe the more moderate to liberal people on the right would come on board with where we're going?
Well, we've seen it.
I mean, sometimes I think they're doing it because they're just trying to sell, and they're forgetting about the whole principle part of things.
Right.
And so I don't think that principles and selling have to cut each other out. Do you?
No, absolutely not. But the fact is, we got to be foundational with our principles. We come at them with this laundry list. So often we come at society with this laundry list of conservative positions, and we don't even agree on them. We have 20 different lists because we're so divided on the right.
Right.
It's not effective. And so we don't move the needle. The other side has a very clear, concise message. We're going to take from other people and give it to you.
Right, which sells very well.
It does.
But we can't do that because it's against our conscience, because we have a conscience.
Right.
So, yeah, we can't do that. Well, and that's part of the reason why we've been trying to set up trainings and you've been speaking to different groups, because a lot of times...
Those are so fun.
They are. And a lot of times conservatives come to us and they say, I know what I believe, but I just don't know how to explain it very well. Can you help me? Well, yes, we can. That's part of the reason that we started the Party of Choice, was to help equip conservatives to explain their beliefs to independents and young people in effective ways that were easy to remember. Because like you just said, we all have our lists, and who has time to memorize 20 talking points on 50 issues and become policy experts?
You know, what I've seen so much of is the reason that we get desperate and say, I've got to get a candidate who's everything I want right now. Mm-hmm. It's because we feel that we can't move the needle. We're not converting people. I go out and I talk to people. They don't want to listen. They hate politics, and they don't want to hear me, and they shut me down every time. And everywhere I go, I just get shut down. And so they feel it's so hopeless out in the field. I've got to get a messiah. I have to have that ideal candidate, that ideal ticket to put us over the top. And what they're really saying is because I can't.
Yeah, but there's a problem with that. Even though you might have the most perfect candidate on the planet running for the president or any position, there's still that wall between us and the listener, the person who is not already conservative.
Right.
So before we can put up the best candidate in the world, we have to make sure that we've been tearing down that wall, right?
Yeah, otherwise they won't elect the best candidate in the world.
Yeah, they're just going to roll their eyes or politely listen to you and then go back to what they were doing.
Exactly.
So anyway, we have designed some trainings. They're called Choice Words That Win.
Oh, those are fun.
And we have one on the calendar already for February 28th. That's a Saturday, and it's going to be in Parker. So if you'd like more information on that, please go to our website. It's thepartyofchoice.com/events, and you can register there. There is a small fee just to help cover our costs that go into the training. But, and if you can't make that one, we also have a save the date for April 4th, which will be down at the Independence Institute training facility. So I think the most exciting thing about the Choice Words That Win, though, is that people have a chance to take an idea or a topic that is personal to them and break it down in a way that they understand it, that they can explain to other people using choice versus control. And how do people respond to that at the end of the training? What have we seen?
We got mobbed.
I mean, we had to push people out the door.
Yeah, we had candidates saying, how can I restructure everything over after this and so forth? And the reason is the simplicity. We're trying to show people how to simplify your messaging. If we go at people with our list, they're not going to listen. If we go at them and understand the left wants to control you, I want to control my own life, not yours. Mm-hmm. Let me show you how. Let me show you how I want to unleash you. Mm-hmm. When we do that, we can win them over. What we do in the Choice Words, thanks for bringing that up. I totally forgot about that. What we do in the Choice Words That Win seminars is we show you how to, not in months, but in a couple minutes, quickly, easily break down the walls that are between those people who don't want to listen to you and you. And suddenly, and basically suddenly they're going to want to hear what you have to say about politics. It actually happens. It's like a miracle. And another thing that's a lot of fun at these things is that, remember, we're talking about 2016 and all these candidates. You're going to have people at them who like all different kinds of candidates.
Sure.
And they will talk to each other about their messaging and how they would push this or that candidate. They have a ball.
Oh, they do. And I see them really listening to each other, too, and looking for ideas, because we can't all be really great at every single topic. That's just not reasonable. There are only so many hours in the day. But it's really fun when, let's say you want to talk about gun control. That was one of our topics we covered in our last training.
And we broke it down how you could very quickly break through to somebody with that.
Yeah, so we identified the point of control. We took a step back and found a way to connect with our listener, because maybe they are kind of in support of what we're saying, but maybe they're totally against it. So how do we find common ground? And then once we find that common ground and start tearing down that wall, then we can come in with some fun talking points to show how, no, we're not being the controlling ones. It's the liberals who are wanting to control you and tell you what's appropriate for your own personal self-defense. How do you feel about that?
You know what I kind of enjoyed the most?
What?
That the people were enjoying each other so much you couldn't get them to stop talking to each other.
I know. We were trying to get them to present their ideas, and it was like pulling teeth.
I know, because they were having too much fun. It was like a conservative powwow. And so, yeah, we do that. Here's the thing, folks. We cannot just look to our candidates. We've talked this entire hour about the ideal candidates. We need the ideal conservative movement. Mm-hmm. We need the equipped conservative movement. Hypothetically, if conservatives were moving the needle and learning how to very quickly break through to people, Not just in these seminars. There's other ways too, as well. Find out how. If you learn how to break through, and if conservatives were doing that all across Colorado, we would have to nominate more conservative candidates.
Right, because the public would be demanding it.
Exactly. If you want Ted Cruz to be the president of the United States, let me tell you something. Oh, would I love that. Then create the market for Ted Cruz.
Yeah, I think we've established the fact that we've got a lot of really great qualified candidates.
Oh, the bench is so deep.
So now let's go out there and let's start finding some voters to vote for those fantastic candidates.
Exactly. Folks, people feel so helpless. We feel like we're hopelessly unheard, like nobody will listen to us. They will listen. They will. They've got a wall up between us and them, and they think that we want to control their lives. You can learn in a few easy steps how to break through. If we start moving the needle of public opinion, we won't have to settle for lesser candidates. And really, somebody who is not completely committed to liberty is a lesser candidate. All right. But right now they're having to win in a nation that is not committed to liberty. This nation's been taught by the education, by academia, the entertainment industry, the media. They've been taught not to want liberty.
Right.
Okay.
They've been taught it's a bad thing.
Right. But people love hearing about it.
Oh, they do. And the other thing is you don't have to be really big into debate or anything like that in order to have fun at this type of class or to apply these principles. I was not into debate and I was pretty timid about my beliefs. And then we started designing these trainings and these principles. And now I feel pretty confident that I can explain what I believe to just about anybody.
It's kind of the Ben Carson thing. It's always the shy ones.
Yeah.
They're so shy. They're not the ones dominating their table, and then they present and they're phenomenal.
Yeah. And so if you want more information on this, be sure to go to our website, thepartyofchoice.com. And then also you can connect with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google+.
And that will about wrap it up. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. I am Andy Pate. My gorgeous wife over there is Corey Pate, who I just sucked up to. We are talking to you on Grassroots Radio, Colorado. We'll see you again next Thursday when we sit in with Chris. Thank you. Good night, Colorado. Colorado.